We begin with one event that investors all over the world are paying attention to, and that includes right now. The World Economic Forum is underway in Davos, Switzerland, and President Donald Trump is addressing those in attendance as we're on the air. Joining me from Davos with more is Ray Wang, CEO at Constellation Research. Ray, it's great to see you on the show this morning. What is the conversation happening on the ground in Davos as Trump delivers remarks?
You know, it's next door, as you can see. And what's happening right now is the conversation about where geopolitics, where energy, where security, and of course, where AI is going to go. And these are all the top topics. Every leader and every business leader as well, geopolitical and business leaders are trying to figure out what do they do next? What's that investment climate look like? Take a look at 2026. We're going to have 2.8 trillion AI spending. That's what we're predicting here at Constellation Research. Last year was a big year for AI funding, 202.3 billion, and AI companies are about to spend 550 billion in AI investments for 2026. But where does it go? How does it get allocated? What rules get put up? And there's a lot of interest in sovereign data centers, building out the infrastructure that's going to compete. And there's a lot of that going on right now at Davos with President Trump speaking. He's talking about the need to protect energy, the need to get to geopolitical security. And of course, that energy cost is driving everything in terms of the equation for where AI gets produced, AI gets funded, and how AI gets distributed.
You know, by many metrics, we've seen a lot of disruption in this past year, and AI does seem to be at the forefront of that. Speak to me more about that, Ray, how we see AI disrupting things and how it is really putting pressure on productivity.
It is actually happening in three dimensions. We have three concepts that are really for the AI age for business leaders. One is margin compression. You have to be faster, better, or cheaper. And it's going to be faster, better, and cheaper. All three have to happen. The second one is this notion of exponential scale, the ability to do things not at 30% better, 50% better. It's 10x, 100x. 1000x. And the last piece is infinite possibilities. You can build things and code at the speed of thought, which means your order of operations, which means deciding what you don't do is going to be the most important thing every business gets into. So that means we're going to figure out how to rewrite and redo customer experience. It's going to change the way that we allocate resources and funding for budgets. It's going to change the way we look at scenarios. It's also changing the way we're actually allocating for supply chains and procurement. This is happening as we speak. And more importantly, the companies that are actually able to master that by building a data foundation, those are the ones that are actually going to make it out of this AI age.
You're joining us from Davos. We see those beautiful Swiss Alps in the background. Ray, you joined us a little over a week ago from CES in Las Vegas. AI, a key trend and theme at both of these large events. Autonomy, another one. What are the conversations and the innovation happening around autonomy on the ground?
We're seeing lots of different systems, whether it's like robots, physical AI. You're seeing different systems that are monitoring. The whole notion of autonomy is not more than just automations, it's intelligent automation and the ability for devices to be able to make those decisions themselves over time. Of course, that means we're going to have to build guardrails. We're going to have to build security capabilities. That means we're also going to have the ability to manage these, shut them down when we need to for an emergency with kill switches. And of course, we've got to be able to figure out how they get governed over time. It's going to be different in almost every country in terms of the rules, the regulations, and those are still being sorted out. Well, at a place like Davos, that's where people talk about the policy, the implications. Is there an equity? Are we being inclusive about those technologies? Is it being distributed evenly? And of course, what policies are needed to actually rein them in or encourage the investment to actually spur that innovation?
You're in Europe. President Donald Trump, again, his speech still underway to those attendees at the World Economic Forum, talking about our trade partners, as he called them initially, Europe being one of them. But Greenland has been in a lot of focus of late, including with the president saying that the U.S. should take control of this Danish territory before he made his way to Davos. What are you finding from people is in focus when it comes to Greenland?
There's a lot of confusion on the European side and a lot of angst about why the U.S. would want to buy Greenland or in potentially take Greenland by force. I think there's a lot of that. There's more negotiation and posturing that's been going on. There is a strategic value in Greenland, not just in the rare earths, but also from a military perspective. And from some sources here on the ground, we've been told that the deal may have already been done. And they're just going to make an announcement. So we'll see if there's breaking news today about that, or if it's later on within the week. But from our understanding is that, it's just here in Europe, there's a lot of angst, a lot of protests, a lot of disbelief that we would actually go and try to take Greenland. If you look at a geopolitical view from the U.S. side, being able to stop that, we could put military bases on there already today, but maybe there's something there around resources or conditions that the president or the administration is looking at that we may have overlooked.
We are still watching those remarks from the president currently underway, Ray. So Davos is going to continue through the rest of the week. What else is on tap as you are on the ground in the Swiss Alps?
There's a lot of conversation about where the investment market is going. There's an interesting phenomenon because we have companies that we call AI exponentials. These are companies that are doing 20% digital labor, doing 200,000 in revenue per employee or more. And these are companies that are actually scaling at a rate we've never seen before. These companies don't need venture funding like it was in the past. You can get there with product-led growth for up to about 50, even 100 million. And then the next level is really trying to get to a sales-led growth model. This is actually creating interesting havoc in the investment market because there aren't a lot of companies that need to be funded. They'll take seed funding, but they don't need the traditional VC model. The family offices that are here, which is a large number of participants here, are trying to figure out where to make those investments. So at the small end of the investment part, it's kind of hard to get in because you need to be in the networks. And then after that, you have to have billions of dollars to be able to participate in those big data and infrastructure plays in energy, data centers, manufacturing, distribution that are happening right now. So we're starting to see a barbell be created. And of course, that's the conversation that we're having here at Davos is where do you invest? Where do family offices make those investments? Meanwhile, business leaders are actually trying and hoping for stability and hoping to get some resolution out of the speech that is going on live right now.
All right. Ray, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. That's Ray Wang, CEO at Constellation Research, joining us from Davos, Switzerland, as the World Economic Forum is underway.